Sparks rained down on the rain-slick asphalt as the prototype 911 screamed past the timing tower at over 160 miles per hour, its rear tires clawing for grip, its engine howling through the wind. Inside the cockpit, rookie test driver Hans Meyer's knuckles went white on the wheel as he fought to tame the furious power. Every shift was life or death for Porsche. On the pit wall, Ferrari Porsche stood frozen, sweat stinging his eyes. If this beast bucked him, the company he'd built on a single dream would collapse. But when the stopwatch flashed a time nobody believed possible, a roar erupted that echoed through every garage in Europe. That moment didn't just break records, it lit the fuse for a 6-decade legend. And what came next? You won't believe how close Porsche came to losing it all. In the early 1960s, Porsche was known for nimble racers and the popular 356. But Ferrari Porsche craved something grander. A luxury sports car that could carry 4 passengers, cruise at Autobahn speeds, and still dominate the racetrack. In Gmünd, Austria, a team of engineers worked in near secrecy, molding aluminum panels by hand and fitting them to stretched 356 chassis. They buried themselves in torque curves and weight distribution diagrams, chasing a dream that seemed impossible. A rear-engined grand tourer with razor-sharp handling. When the world finally saw the result at the 1963 Frankfurt Motor Show, jaws dropped. The new 901, later renamed to 911, looked like a bullet with headlights, boasting a muscular rear end and a cabin that whispered elite performance. Critics warned it would flop, too expensive, too unconventional, but Ferrari's bet paid off when the first orders flooded in. Yet the real test lay ahead on the track and in the hands of drivers who would push it to its limits. Barely a year after its debut, the 911 was lining up at Le Mans and Daytona, piloted by privateers who believed in its raw potential. At Le Mans in 1964, a trio of privately entered 911s snatched the C-Class lead, outlasting rivals twice their size in a grueling 24-hour marathon. Mechanics worked through the night, swapping gearboxes and patching bodywork with spit and grit. One driver later recalled the cockpit flooding with oil midway through the night, yet he gunned the throttle anyway, willpower overriding pain. Each podium finish burned Porsche's name into racing lore, and engineers back in Stuttgart pored over race data to fortify suspension, refine transmission ratios, and crank boost pressure ever higher. Soon, winning at the Nürburgring's 12.9-mile labyrinth became routine, and the 911's legend spread from Germany to Japan, the US, and Brazil. But triumph on the tarmac would soon be tested. Porsche would have to evolve or face extinction. The oil crisis of 1973 hit sports cars like a sledgehammer. Overnight, long queues formed at gas pumps, and consumers recoiled at the thought of a thirsty 6-cylinder. Porsche's answer was radical. In 1975, they unveiled the 911 Turbo, or 930, packing a 3.0-liter flat 6 with a single turbocharger that hurled drivers from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 6 seconds, astonishing for its era. Yet alongside raw grunt came new headaches. Turbo lag that sucked wind from drivers' lungs, blown head gaskets from overheating, and championship race teams scrambling to fit catalytic converters just to stay legal. Emission rules tightened each year, painting engineers into a corner. Sacrifice performance or outrage loyal fans. Fuel injection systems were tweaked, exhaust valves reprogrammed, even compression ratios sacrificed for cleaner burn. Sales dipped as buyers balked at the complexity and cost. Still, Porsche pressed on. Turbocharged success on the track, including class wins at Spa and Sebring, proved that the future belonged to forced induction. It was a high-stakes game of give and take, one that defined sports car engineering for decades to come, and led directly into a chapter of fierce competition nobody saw coming. As Porsche battled regulators and oil shocks, Audi's board in Ingolstadt eyed the halo car market long dominated by Stuttgart. Their answer was the R8, which also has a crazy story we'll make a video on soon, launched in 2006 with an aluminum space frame and mid-mounted engine, borrowed from Lamborghini. On paper, it looked airtight, but reality struck hard. Early R8s suffered gearbox failures that stranded owners on highways, electronic gremlins that froze dashboards, and a price tag that made even affluent buyers flinch. Press cars broke down mid-review, and rumors spread that Audi would kill the project before the first anniversary. But instead of folding, they went back to the drawing board, reinforcing gears, reprogramming control units, and fine-tuning suspension until the R8 became a benchmark for refinement. When it finally hit its stride, purring through corners with brutal precision and scooping class victories at Le Mans, Audi had not only rescued its sports car dream, but also sent a message to Porsche. Maintaining a halo car takes relentless courage. And while Audi learned to balance risk and reward, Porsche was about to face perhaps its toughest trial yet. In 1997, to meet stricter emissions and noise laws, Porsche swapped its iconic air-cooled engine for a water-cooled flat-six in the 996 series, a move that felt like betrayal to some fans. The 996's aluminum hood, sleeker headlight design, and increased cabin space attracted new buyers, pushing sales skyward. But beneath the surface lurked a hidden time bomb, the intermediate shaft, IMS, bearing. When it failed, often without warning, engines shattered, leaving drivers stranded and pockets emptied. Online forums exploded with horror stories. "I was cruising on the freeway when the engine exploded," one owner lamented. "My car became scrap metal in seconds." Porsche initially offered minimal support, citing wear and tear, then belatedly extended warranties and redesigned the bearing for free replacements. By the time the 997 rolled out in 2005, many of these problems were solved, but the damage to Porsche's reputation lingered. Yet the crisis demonstrated something critical. Even legends can falter, but true icons endure through transparency and rapid innovation. Learning from the 996 debacle, Porsche reintroduced the 997 with subtle styling nods to its ancestors. Round headlights, flared fenders, and ergonomics fine-tuned for driver delight. Power plants grew more potent. Turbocharged variants sprinted to 60 miles per hour in under 4 seconds, while the GT3 models reveled in track-focused precision. Carbon ceramic brakes, adaptive dampers, and launch control systems arrived, each feature tested on circuits from Silverstone to Laguna Seca. The 991st and 992nd generations pushed digital integration further. Touchscreens, advanced stability aids, and real-time telemetry became standard, yet Porsche insisted on a manual gearbox option, an act of rebellion that thrilled its fans. Meanwhile, motorsport triumphs continued. Overall victories at Spa-Francorchamps and consistent podiums at the Nürburgring 24-hour assured that circuit DNA still pumped through every road car. Today, the 911 stands at another crossroads. With electric whispers growing louder and government mandates looming, Porsche has teased hybrid prototypes and full electric concepts. Can the soul of the 911, its balance, its roar, its tactile thrill, survive the silent reign of batteries? Only time will tell. And that brings us full circle to where this story began, on that foggy night in '62, when a fearless decision forever altered automotive history. From its daring Nürburgring debut to its turbocharged triumphs, its near-fatal 996 crisis, and its modern-day reinvention, the Porsche 911 has proven that greatness demands risk, resilience, and relentless refinement. Along the way, rivals like Audi stumbled and soared, reminding us that every halo car's journey is fraught with peril. Now, as the dawn of electrification approaches, the 911 faces its greatest test yet. Can this 60-year-old blueprint adapt to a silent, emissions-free future? Whatever lies ahead, one thing remains certain. This story of sweat, sparks, and unbreakable ambition is far from over. Let us know what car we should cover next time. What's your top 3 currently? Also remember to drive responsibly. I get it, driving fast can feel cool, but it's not cool when you break a bone or end up dead. Seriously, it can happen to anyone. Don't be naive and think you're invincible.